We all knew they were dead. And the entire world, waiting with bated breath, talking about 96 hours of oxygen. My jaw literally dropped open farther and farther each day that they never cautioned everybody. These guys broke the rules. It's that simple. They should not have been legally allowed to carry passengers. To talk about a race against time, these poor people, tapping sounds ridiculous. We have plans to build a sub that can go to 4,000 meters, and we will.
Wow.
And I may even go back to Titanic in that sub, just to prove the point that if it's done right, it can be done safely.
The hatch just sealed. You heard the bolts turn from the outside. From the outside. There is no handle in here. The submarine is smaller than your bathroom. 5 of you, shoulder to shoulder, sitting on the floor like cargo. No seats, no windows, except one small porthole at the front that right now shows nothing but the gray-green churn of the Atlantic surface. You paid nothing for this seat. You earned it. A research opportunity. A once-in-a-lifetime descent to the most famous shipwreck on the ocean floor. Stockton Rush himself is at the controls, which was supposed to feel reassuring. It doesn't. The Titan begins to sink. Not dramatically. Not like the movies. It just descends. Quietly. The light outside the porthole shifts from gray-green to a blue so deep it has no name. The surface disappears, and with it, everything you've ever known as normal. The sounds start immediately. Metal talking to water. A low structural groan that you feel in your back more than hear with your ears. The hull is carbon fiber and titanium, an unusual combination someone mentioned during the briefing. You nodded then. You think about it now. Stockton is cheerful. He talks about the engineering, about how this vessel has made this dive before, about the Titanic sitting 3,800 meters below you like a ghost waiting to be visited. You smile, you nod, but something is already wrong and you cannot name it. 20 minutes in, the blue outside is gone. There is no light down here that doesn't come from inside this vessel. The porthole now shows pure black. Not dark, black. The kind of black that has weight. The kind that presses back when you look at it. You become aware of your own breathing. In, out, in, out. You are consuming oxygen that cannot be replaced until you surface. Every breath is a small subtraction from a fixed number. You don't know what that number is. You didn't ask. You wish you had asked. The hull groans again, longer this time. Someone makes a joke. Everyone laughs a little too quickly. You look at the controller in Stockton's hands. It is a modified Logitech gamepad. The kind that comes with gaming consoles, the kind teenagers use to play racing games in their bedrooms. You look at it for 3 full seconds. You look away, an hour passes, maybe more. Time moves differently down here. There is nothing to mark it except the depth reading, which keeps climbing. 1,000 meters, 2,500, $2,000, and the conversation, which keeps getting quieter. The Titanic wreck appears on the sonar before you see it visually. A shape in the data, a mass, something enormous and still. And then the lights find it. The bow, the railing, the anchor chains still hanging after 111 years. You are looking at the place where 1,500 people died, and the silence inside the Titan becomes a different kind of silence. Not tense, just reverent, just enormous. For a few minutes you forget to be afraid. That is the last time that happens. The communication system cuts out. Not dramatically, not with a warning. The text messages to the surface ship just stop being acknowledged. Stockton checks the system, adjusts something, checks again. He says it has happened before. The acoustic system is finicky. It will reconnect. You watch his hands on the controls and you notice they are not as relaxed as his voice. That gap between what his voice is doing and what his hands are doing, that gap is where your fear lives now. 40 minutes pass without contact with the surface. You think about the people up there, the support ship, the crew. They know where you are. They are tracking. There are protocols. This is a professional operation. These thoughts are doing less work than you need them to do. Hey, if you're still here, subscribe. And tell me where you're watching from, before this gets worse. The carbon fiber makes a sound you have never heard a material make before. Not a groan, not a creak, something sharper, a sound with an edge to it. Brief, like a word spoken in a language you don't speak but understand the tone of perfectly. You look at the walls. Stockton is looking at the instruments. Nobody says anything for 11 seconds. You count them. Then someone asks how much oxygen is left, and Stockton answers in hours, and the number he gives is smaller than you expected, and you do the arithmetic silently, and the arithmetic does not comfort you. The gamepad controller moves. The Titan shifts. You are trying to ascend. The depth reading doesn't change. It tries again. The depth reading doesn't change. There is a specific quality to fear that arrives when you realize the situation has moved outside your control. Not escalated, not worsened, simply moved to a place where nothing you do or think or say has any mechanical effect on the outcome. You are 3,800 meters below the surface of the Atlantic Ocean. The vessel is not ascending. The communication system is silent, and the walls around you are holding back a pressure that is... You remember this number from the briefing. It comes back to you now with perfect clarity. 400 times greater than the air pressure you have breathed your entire life. 400 times. Every square inch of this hull is absorbing that. You place your hand flat against the curved wall beside you. You don't know why. It is cold. Perfectly, absolutely cold. And it is the only thing between you and an ocean that would kill you in a fraction of a second if given the opportunity. You take your hand away. The oxygen conversation is stopped. Not because the question is resolved, but because asking again won't change the answer. There is a torch. Someone is holding it. The beam moves sometimes when they shift position, and for a moment the light hits the porthole, and you see your own reflection looking back at you from the black water outside. You look older than you are. You think about your family, not in a sentimental movie way, just they appear. Their faces, specific memories. Your mother's voice saying your name in a specific way she has, a meal, a morning, a completely ordinary Tuesday that you would give everything to be inside right now. The vessel shudders, not a creak, a full-body shudder, like something outside moved. Nobody speaks. The silence is no longer empty. It has texture now, it has temperature, it presses against your eardrums with a low-frequency hum that might be the ocean, or might be your own blood, or might be the sound a mind makes when it arrives at a threshold it was never designed to cross. You close your eyes. Breathing slows, not from calm, from conservation. Some ancient part of your brain taking over, doing what it knows, slowing the metabolism, stretching the math. The dark behind your eyelids and the dark in the submarine are the same dark. You open your eyes. You close them again. It doesn't matter. There is a moment, quiet, almost gentle, when the body stops translating sensory data into fear responses and simply receives. The cold of the hull, the weight of the water above you, the sound of 4 other people breathing in the same small darkness. You are 3,800 meters below everything you have ever known. The pressure outside this vessel is absolute. The hull has been here before. It has done this before. The carbon fiber holds. Until it doesn't. There is no sound. There is no time. There is nothing. They found the debris field 4 days later. 5 pieces, spread across the ocean floor near the bow of the Titanic. The Coast Guard called it a catastrophic implosion. It lasted milliseconds. You never felt it coming. Nobody does.